Hey guys, real watches, real people, real stories. Number 4. I want to thank you guys first for sending in these videos and making this possible. When we first came up with this idea, Ian was a little bit afraid, people may not want to send in these videos, but the response has been great. We are now putting out episode 4, and I also know that Ian has a few more already prepared for the next episode. So without further ado, as you guys know, I don't watch these beforehand. This is why I asked you actually to email them to Ian at luxurybazaar.com, because that way I don't see them. So when they go directly to Ian, he puts them together. I play them and I give you my off the top of the head response. So let's start with Enrico from Italy, pronounced Rico.
Hi Roman, this is Enrico from Italy. I'm here to show you my first important watch. It's my Rolex Explorer 2, aka the Freccione in Italy, and I bought it in Vienna, Austria. It was on a weekend holiday there, and I saw it in a shop window and I like it, so I decided to buy it for me. It's a versatile watch. It's my everyday watch and I really love it. So thank you for sharing your passion on your YouTube channel, and before saying goodbye, I just want to show you the beauty of the sea today in this beautiful sunny and hot day in Liguria, where I live. Thank you for all, and goodbye.
Liguria is certainly beautiful. I actually just spent 2 weeks at the shore. At the end of every summer, we rent a house at the Jersey Shore. No, not that Jersey Shore. This Jersey Shore. In regards to your watch, the Explorer with a black dial, oddly enough, if you look online, you'll notice that the black dials trade slightly less than the white dials. The white dial tends to be more popular. Personally, I love the black dial more, so good choice on that watch. As far as it being an everyday watch, it is a absolute rugged, nice size, and comfortable watch. I actually own a Explorer cream dial, right? It's more of a part of my vintage collection. You can go swimming with it, you can go hiking with it, you can climb Mount Everest with it. It's extremely durable. And personally, it's still an unmistakable Rolex watch, right? Oftentimes people say, well, if I get away from the Submariner, the Daytona, and the GMT, and I go into something else, it's already kind of like not a Rolex. It is. There's a huge following out there for the Rolex Explorers. The Explorer is much lighter, much more comfortable to wear. I think it's a great choice. It's a watch that's money in the bank. It's going to continue climbing in price for as long as you have it, and you can have it for a long time, because it will last you a very long time. Thank you for your submission, Rico, and thank you for showing me the beautiful beach scene. Next is from Nemesh from California. Let's see what Nemesh says.
Hey Roman, this is Nemesh from Newark, California. Just thought I'd get on here and give you a little bit of insight to my watch story and to show you what's on my wrist today. So for me, a high-end luxury timepiece is something that I feel has to represent a significant achievement in my life. So my collection's been made up of 3 separate watches. The first being a Graham Chrono Fighter in stainless steel with a silver dial that I bought when I received my degree in kinesiology. When I got my MBA, I bought myself a Tag Heuer Carrera GMT with the skeleton dial. And when I opened up my fitness studio, 9 Round Fitness here in Newark, California, which is where I'm calling you from today, I bought myself my 3rd and most loved timepiece, which is this Omega Speedmaster Blue Ceramic 300 meter professional with the wave dial. This watch is absolutely beautiful, and for all of my checkpoints, this is one of the very few watches that meet everything. So I am 100% in love with this timepiece. Love everything down to the wave dial, the bezel, the bracelet I find extremely attractive. The clasp is phenomenal, especially with the micro adjustments we have here, which really allows us, allows customizability for you, and allows me to wear this watch, for every day, every occasion, whether no matter what. And to top it all off with a beautiful display case back, because there's nothing that I love more than seeing a beautiful movement, especially when spending this amount of money on a high-end piece. Now, to give you a little insight into my story, when I opened up this studio, I was only opened up for about a month before COVID-19 forced us to shut down in the name of public health. And so California is one of the few states that are still shut down for fitness studios. So we've been on 5 months of lockdown. So I'm sure you can imagine, but we are on some of the toughest times that I can possibly imagine for this business. And because of that, I found myself in a position where I had to sacrifice my first two timepieces. And I had to sell those off so that I could keep doors open here, and at least give myself a chance to come back stronger and better after this pandemic. So after having sold off those two timepieces, which represented my education that I needed to get to this point to open up my own business, this Omega Speedmaster has then took on those roles for me. This represents everything that I've achieved in the past as far as receiving my degree, receiving my MBA, and it also represents my will to keep fighting, to keep my dream alive, and to keep this studio alive. So every day that I wear this, and I wear it every day for every occasion, whether it be formal, semi-formal, or casual, this watch really does fit every scenario. And it's gonna continue to represent my fighting will to keep my dreams alive here. So hopefully I can continue to fight through this pandemic to keep my business alive, to keep my dream alive. And one day, once this is all gone and past, and we find ourselves in a position where I can consider myself and my business a success again, I would definitely love to start adding to my collection once again. But until then, I'm gonna keep fighting, keep trying to keep my dream alive, and I'm gonna keep cherishing my Omega Speedmaster. If you're ever in the area, Newark, California, come on by and I'll put you through a workout. But until then, keep making those videos, keep making the vlogs, love everything you're doing, and look forward to your response.
Wow. Well, I guess I'll start backwards. I won't start with the watch, I'll start with the story. I have a very good friend who I have known for 10 plus years at this point, who was a personal trainer. The last time I was into fitness is when I was in the military. After I got out of the military, fitness was really not a big priority for me. And as I got older, I realized that gravity takes a toll and so does age, and I got back into fitness. And the gentleman that got me back into fitness is Tony Bria. You can actually look him up. His place is called Body by Bria. And it's the same exact story. There was 3 months before the lockdown where Tony finally achieved his dream and went from being a personal trainer, going from house to house, and opened up his own studio, Body by Bria. And then COVID hit. And he finally found himself in a position where he was just like, I might have to close down. And you know, he moped around for a couple of weeks after he was shut down, and because it really sucked. He just got his studio opened up, finally got the membership there, you know, and this shit happens, right? Same thing that's happening to you still, which is terrible, right? He called me up, me being an internet company, some marketing techniques, and I gave him some tips and tricks. Guess what? He got on Facebook Live. He was doing 2 to 3 classes a day on Facebook, and all of his clientele followed. We have another buddy of mine that was a marketing company. I told him, listen, I want you to geofence everybody on Facebook that's in the area of his gym. So he managed to pick up new clients after he was allowed to open up. He's back bigger and stronger than ever. It's a successful gym, and I hope the same thing happens to you. And if you aren't doing those things, like doing your Facebook Live classes and or doing some kind of Zoom classes and staying in people's face, you should, because that will pay a long way once you guys get to open up eventually. The fact that you managed to sacrifice your first 2 watches for what's important and recognizing that, look, those things may signify a lot to me, but right now those expensive toys are a means of me staying afloat, to keeping my dream and existing business alive. And that just shows that, look, at the end of the day, these things are expensive toys. There are a lot more things out there that are more important than watches, right? And last but not least, your Omega. I mean, I got 2 words for you, dude. James Bond.
This looks familiar.
I mean, I'm a big Bond fan, and Omega and Bond go together. Love the color combo. That bright blue, to me, is very California. The fact that it's a diverse watch, the blue waves on the dial, the blue colors, this obviously is a huge fit for where you are geographically. You mentioned the micro adjusting system. This is a good thing, and it's something I don't think I've ever talked about in my channel. Rolexes have it now. I think it's the most convenient damn thing out there that was put into a watch. Because oftentimes when you size watches, people don't have standard size wrists, like 7, 7.5, 8, 9 inches, whatever it might be, right? What you're usually stuck with is pulling out a link or 2, right? Some watches have half links, right, to battle that issue. But the micro adjusting system is probably the easiest and best way to adjust, to fine adjust your watch to fit your wrist perfectly the way you like it. Whether you like it looser or tighter doesn't really matter. But that micro adjustment, which has, I think that one has at least 3 or 4 notches where you can adjust it just a tiny little bit, is a huge, huge deal in watches. And I'm shocked that they didn't come up with this convenience from the very, very beginning, right? Considering that, even with strap watches, sometimes you end up making an awkward hole between holes just because it's just not the exact fit that you want. Plus, where I am, where we have 4 seasons, when it's colder, your wrist tends to be a tiny bit smaller than when it's really, really hot outside, when, your body naturally expands, right? Where having that micro adjustment is extremely, extremely convenient. I want to tell you this in closing. It doesn't sound like you're somebody that gives up on their dreams. What's happening right now, which is completely out of your control, I think it sucks. I will tell you that I firsthand know so many small businesses out there that were forced to go out of business. But again, don't want to get into that. I will tell you this, is to hang in there, keep your dream alive. And I have no doubt that once all this is over, your studio will be successful. And if I'm out that way, I will certainly come and take you on a challenge of taking one of your classes. And thank you so much for your submission. Next one is going to be from Vincenzo.
Hi Roman, I am Vincenzo and I follow you from Italy. Today I want to show you 3 watches that are part of my collection, one of which has a great story that I think you wanted to know, you'd like to know. The first is the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. I got this right before Christmas with my dad. And this doesn't have a great story. However, it's a watch that I've always loved, and I'm very happy that I have it in my collection right now. Then I have my Lockman Italy. I don't know if you know this brand. It's a very small brand from Italy. I wouldn't consider it a fashion watch. However, it's not super expensive. It's around 1,000 euros, and it's in carbon ceramic, so it's very light, and I use it mostly in the summer. Here's a glass back with the titanium case, I guess, and I use it mostly during the summer, so right now. And then there's this watch, which is Tag Heuer, and this has a great story because, as you can see, it was bought in 1989 by my mom and was gifted to my dad, and when they were 20 years old. And then my dad gave it to my grandpa, which has the same name as me, Vincenzo, and he wore it all the time. And now I have it in my collection, and even if it's not very valuable, I really love this piece. Anyway, thank you for the content and have a good day.
Wow. Okay, so let's start with the Omega. The Omega Moonwatch, as you called it, is a very special watch because it signifies a giant leap in mankind, right, as he said it. And an Omega Speedmaster is, for me, a staple in every watch collection. When people ask me, like, what are some of the watches one should have in their collection? Besides a Submariner, for say, besides a Patek or things of that nature, I always tell them, the Speedmaster. Like, oh, Roman, it's a relatively cheap watch. They make so many different ones. It doesn't matter. It's as iconic as it's going to get, right? As far as the Lockman watch from Italy, I actually have heard of that watch company. I think it's a very cool watch. I think it's a very cool looking watch. I also like the fact that you identify it as a summer watch, and it's a very summer watch. If you look at it, it's bright colored, right? You said it's titanium, so obviously very, very light to wear. You can sweat in it. Exhibition back, and I think they did a hell of a job for 1,000 euros. And the fact that you are from Italy and you are wearing an Italian watch, I think that's pretty awesome as well, right? Unfortunately, in America, there's not a whole lot of companies out there trying to make American watches. I do have a buddy of mine in California that's actually working on a high-end American brand right now. Not sure how well he's going to do with it because, again, everybody wants something from the Swiss. Now, your story about the tag, that looks like a Tag Heuer link, right? From 1989, and I love the fact that you have the original papers in the box with the date on there. The fact that this was given to your dad and then went to your grandfather, well, first of all, the fact that this was given by your mom to your dad and then went to your grandfather and then came back down to you is actually pretty odd. Because usually what happens is a watch gets passed down from older to younger to younger to younger. This actually took a detour. It went from younger to older and then back down to even younger, which is, I think, a cool story all of its own. Oftentimes I find watch collectors out there that have a humongous collection where they have super expensive watches, upwards of 100,000 or over 100,000 for some of the watches, but yet the watches that are more special tend to be something that at a first glance most people say, that special? No, I think your Patek is special, but it's not.
Don't ever let anybody tell you they're better than you, Forrest.
And this is what I love about watch collecting. It's never about the price. It's never about the look. To a true watch connoisseur, a watch is not special because of the hype that's out in the market, because of its price tag, because of the amount of diamonds under it. But often than none, that watch is special to them because it represents a real story, a part of history of their life. That's what this show is all about. It's about real watches, real people, and real stories. Vincenzo, thank you very much for your submission, and I'm going to go to one from Steven.
Hi Roman, I thought I'd share with you my story on how I acquired this AP 15400 ST, which is what I believe one of the best bang for buck stainless steel models you can get when you look at the market, you know, in regards to stainless steel Pateks. I bought this watch from a really close friend of mine about 7 months ago now, who had this watch for about 3 years, and I would say didn't wear it carefully, and in fact the watch was unbelievably beat up. He decided to upgrade this to a stainless steel AP, but the perpetual calendar, so didn't have the need for this anymore. So I saw an opportunity to buy it. I bought it at a very good price, but bearing in mind I had to send this for a service and full polish because this was in a real bad way. It also needed a new crown because he dinted the old one. In fact, it was that much beat up, I didn't think it was possible to rescue it. But as you can see, the watchmaker and the service kind of, well, brought it back to as good as new. I cherish this watch because when I used to see him wear it and kind of beat it around and not care much, it used to make me cringe and it used to go through me. So this is now my daily wearer, but I cherish this and it means a lot. So I just thought I'd submit this to you, Roman. It's an absolutely beautiful piece. The case back, I just love looking at the movement. It's it's a special piece, and I don't think I'd ever want to sell this.
It's funny, Steven brings up a point that I always tell you guys when you guys ask me questions about, how often do I service the watch? And the other day on Q&A we were talking about some stickers that you can put on your watch and things of that nature. And it just goes to show and proves what I've always guys have been telling you. This gentleman just mentioned that this watch was beat to right? The crown was dented, this was dented, and now look at the watch, right? It looks like it's brand spanking new, right? I love the story where I used to watch your friend wear the watch and you used to cringe on how he treated it, because again, there's some people out there that just beat the crap out of their watch. And inside your head is like, holy shit, is beat the shit out of that watch. If that watch was mine, I certainly wouldn't do that to it. And lo and behold, the watch ended up being yours. Sounds like your friend made a hell of an upgrade, going from a plain Jane Royal Oak to a perpetual calendar. But the 15400, it was a great option when it first came out. Why? Because finally they made a Royal Oak that's bigger, right? We went from the 5402 Royal Oak, the OG from 1972, the Junta design, and later for the 40th anniversary in 2012, they did the 15202. There was the 15300 in a 39 millimeter, right? And then they came out with the 15400 and 41 millimeter, and everybody got really, really excited, especially for both the non-chrono and the chrono, because now it's even bigger, right? And people want bigger and bigger and bigger. They've been wanting bigger in this market forever. Now, obviously, they have the 15500, so the trends are kind of coming back down because not everybody can wear a 41 millimeter watch, and now they have it in a 38 millimeter watch. And probably next year they're going to do a 37.5 millimeter. Who knows? There is a 45 millimeter Royal Oak out there, believe it or not, and that's the Royal Oak Tourbillon. They made it in stainless steel on the bracelet as well as rose gold on a strap. That's actually 45 millimeters, and that's not an offshore, that's a Royal Oak. So there is a bigger Royal Oak out there, believe it or not. From what I gather from the story is the simple fact that you really, really, really wanted that watch. And with the crazy ass market that we have today, it sounds like you got an opportunity and you jumped on it. What I often don't see is stories like these, right? Oftentimes, for some reason, people will go out to a dealer and sell their watch. It's not because they have to sell their watch, it's usually because they want to get something else. But majority of the time, people either are upgrading or changing or doing something of that nature. And 9 out of 10 times, they'll reach out to dealers and they'll try to work out a trade.
In Philadelphia, it's worth $50.
Just give me the money.
What I always wondered is, why not do what Steven did? Why not try to get out there and find a way to buy watches from your friends? I don't care who you are, and if you're a watch guy and you have friends that are watch guys or girls, right? I'm fairly certain there's watches out there that you look at your guy's wrist and say, oh, shit, I would love to have that watch, and probably won't cost me an arm and a leg because I know this guy paid less and I'm a friend and I could probably get it off of him. So my suggestion oftentimes is, why not reach out to your friends and be like, look guys, if you ever consider selling this watch, let me know because I would like to buy it. There's nothing wrong with that, and among friends you usually end up getting a better deal. Plus you know where the watch has been, right? You know exactly where it's coming from because it's now a used watch. You got yourself a great watch. The watch looks super clean. Looks like whoever did, I don't know if it was AP that did it or another watchmaker, or whoever did it, they did a great job. Doesn't sound like you're a guy that's going to beat up your watch and dent the crown and put a bunch of gashes in your watch. So it sounds like this thing will last you for a while. Enjoy it, Steven. Wear it in good health for a long time. And I'm hoping that once you do get tired of it, then I'm hoping that you sell it off to another friend at a better deal than usual. That would be pretty real and kick-ass. And that's what this show is all about. It's about real watches, real people, and real stories. I want to thank all of you for your wonderful submissions. Remember, send your submissions to ian@luxurybazaar.com. Your videos make it possible. I love the first submission where you showed me your surroundings and where you're from. That was absolutely gorgeous. Whether it's your gym, you see that you buy, or your office, or whatever it might be, show it to me. I would love to see it. Again, gives me more of a real interaction with you guys because, again, at the end of the day, I'm staring at a camera, right? Other than that, as always, hit the like button if you like what you saw. Hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber to my channel. And as I always say, share this video with your friends because by sharing this video helps my channel grow organically. Other than that, I'll see you guys next week for more watch reviews and other videos.